Pod Apostle. Help us build the kingdom. Like, share, and subscribe. So, trust me when I say there's a lot going on in that gospel. A lot. From the idea that they said we're not children of fornication. I mean, that has there's a whole backstory to why would they say such a thing as that, and it kind of has to do with even the genealogy of Jesus and the genealogy of the Jews in general. But so the richness of the gospel is kind of obscured by the fact that it's deep, there's this depth to it. But so I have to, like I've said a couple of times, when you're reading the Gospel of John, you kind of just have to pull one thing out and say, okay, let's talk about this a little bit. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Did you hear that? And what is that? There's a lot of ways I think we can apply that to life. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And forgive me for kind of I hope it's not a silly example, but let's just imagine that you're going grocery shopping, right? And, you have this allergy, and you have that allergy, and you have this vitamin deficiency, and you have that vitamin deficiency, and you need some groceries, right? And you heard about this particular kind of cereal that has everything you need in it, right? So you go to the grocery store and you go to the cereal aisle, right? But you've forgotten the name of the cereal that you're supposed to get, right? So you have 100 different kinds of cereal there, right? And you're like, well, which one am I supposed to pick? What's the right thing? What am I supposed to do? And you don't know, because you don't know the truth of what you're supposed to get. And so you're kind of enslaved by this ignorance. You're going to have to go read every label, okay? But if you knew the truth, you could go right and do that, which is you could go right to what you need. And so in life, when we know what is true and good, it can put us on the path. And when we don't know, we wander around in circles, and we're slave to the winds of the world. And so Jesus says, I'm the truth. And when you know the truth, you're going to follow me. I am the truth, and the truth will set you free from the distractions of everything. Now, let's take that, and the truth will set you free. When we know what is true and good and beautiful, we don't want to eat the junk. We want to eat that which is good and true and beautiful. Now, in the Old Testament reading today, kind of a long reading, Nebuchadnezzar and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It's almost fun to say those names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And what did they win? And they go through this list of musical instruments. Did you hear that? The musical instruments: the trumpet, the flute, the lyre, the harp, the psaltery, the bagpipe, and all other musical instruments. If you hear music playing, what are you doing? This is what the order of the king was. Get on your knees and worship the golden statue. That's what you have to do. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, that's not true. We're not kneeling down to the golden statue. It's not true. Not doing it. Was it true or not true? And they knew the truth, didn't they? And they were free. And what did their freedom look like? They were bound hand and foot and thrown into a fire. But they were more free than the people who were bowing down to the golden statue. And so we have to have this wisdom. Jesus was the freest person on the hill of Calvary. He was being held and bound by nails in his hands and feet, but he was the freest person there. So how we understand freedom and choice and a lot of things is, Jesus says, what does he say? He says, if you remain in my word, you will be truly be my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Free from from falling down to the golden idols of this world. So today, my brothers and sisters, let us pray for freedom, the freedom that we can have knowing the truth of Jesus Christ.